Welcome back to the channel. Racer X here. And today I've got a little video planned out about something I have been working on for a little while, sort of behind the scenes. Those of you that follow my channel, you know I've been pretty outspoken about the topic of dealer markup. I don't think it's right. I think it's a pretty immoral practice. I don't know how they get away with it. And today I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but not so much just talk today. So today is actually more about action. And truth is, I need your help, and I need you to share this video as much as possible. If you're passionate about this, just like I am, I got to get you guys to help me out with this. It should be an interesting one. If you're new to my channel, please do me a big, gigantic favor. Hit subscribe. It's down here in the corner. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, and off we go. So we've seen it all over social media now. We're starting to see some of the most insane markups on cars ever. And it's not just the performance enthusiasts that are being affected by this. Really, it's affecting everybody because dealerships are starting to mark up cars well over MSRP that aren't even really all that rare. I mean, regular, RT Challengers, or you may even see things like Durangos or Honda Accords. I mean, some of these things are even being marked up over sticker on the most basic stuff. And then, of course, as you get into the high-end stuff, the stuff people really want, it only gets worse and worse. There's actually a sticker that I saw of, or a letter, I should say, of a dealership down in Houston. I'm not going to name what dealership it was. And it's been all over the place, guys. And they're charging $90,000 over sticker with like a $6,000 or $7,000 non-refundable deposit. And they make no bones about it. If you want one, you will absolutely pay through the nose. And many of you guys that have followed my channel, you know that I've kind of been hooped on several cars now because of dealer markup. All the way back in 2013, I tried to buy a Shelby GT500. A lot of people don't know this, all until the dealership got the car in, and then they told me, come on in, sign the paperwork. Oh, by the way, $10,000 markup. And of course, I waited 2.5 years for my C8 Z06, and just a few months before I was able to go in and spec it out, they came back and said, well, by the way, even though we've always sold it sticker, and we've had this thing for you for, what, 2.5 years now, if you want to buy this car at sticker, you have to pay a $50,000 donation to our charity. It's crap like this that is really kind of ruining the car market for everybody. It's pricing a lot of enthusiasts out of the market and this is in some cases where people have saved for years to have their dream car, only to have the dealership refuse to sell you at MSRP or whatever the manufacturer feels like that car should be worth. And then, of course, you can't get the car you want. So here's the thing. I went ahead and did a little bit of research, as I do for a lot of my videos, and the average car price in this country right now is over $47,000. And I did not know that. And that's actually up 54% from just 10 years ago. That is quite a bit of money. And we're just talking average. We're not talking about all the performance cars and all that kind of stuff, as you know, that we know they continue to go up. Of course, the price of insurance, the price of fuel, all of that has basically skyrocketed. So it has become more and more expensive to just drive around. And that is the ultimate reality. And when I actually get in here, I did a poll, right? So I went onto my channel, I put a poll out there about dealer satisfaction. And it was amazing what came back. After thousands of votes, it seemed that like 95% of people either said the dealership is just as bad as it always has been, or it is even worse. Basically, like 5% of people or less were happy with dealerships, which is amazing to me because when you really think about it in business, if you have a 95% customer dissatisfaction rate, how in the world do you stay in business? Well, the truth is, the manufacturers are allowing it. And that is really kind of the genesis of the problem, so to speak, is that until the manufacturers step up and start forcing the hand of dealers to actually do what's right, we have an MSRP for a reason. That's always been my biggest bone of contention is, look, don't put an MSRP on a car, put it out there for people to spec, for everybody to look at, for people to maybe somehow pipe dream that they can afford it, only to have your dealerships refuse to sell the car for the price that you guys have advertised. That is the very epitome of false advertising in my mind. Now, Tesla has a different model altogether, which does protect customers to some degree. And everybody says, well, Teslas, they're not the cheapest car in the world anyway, but at least you know what you get with Tesla, right? You don't have independent dealerships marking these cars up to astronomical amounts and essentially pricing a lot of the core enthusiasts completely out of the market. And many times, as I mentioned, people will save up for a long time to kind of get their dream car, and only to have the dealerships absolutely refuse to sell it for the price it's been advertised at by the manufacturer. That is a business practice that just has to stop, and manufacturers cannot allow this anymore. So case in point, I actually took the time to sit down and call 10 different Chevrolet dealerships about the new C8 Z06 that's coming out. Yes, it's a high demand car. I get that. Like I said, I got completely hooped on my order, and so did a lot of other people. I mean, countless other people messaged me about how the dealership basically just went completely back on their word and now is trying to absolutely hoop them for an astronomical amount of money after calling around to 10 different Chevrolet dealerships. I'm not going to mention them. I'm not going to put them on blast. Like I said, this has become sort of common practice across the industry, which is ridiculous. But I found that $67,000 over and above MSRP was what the average of these dealerships was trying to charge people. It's just so ridiculous. I'm a little amazed that there are that many people out there that are willing to do it, or where they get all this money. I don't know. Like I said, I digress on that. But I am somebody who refuses to pay over sticker price simply out of principle. This is a practice that literally should not be allowed. Bait and switch. It's immoral. However you want to look at it, something has to be changed, and it has to start at that foundational level of the manufacturer. They're really the only ones who can curb this activity. So that brings me to really the most important point of this whole video. So thank you for sticking in there with me so far. And here's what I want to talk about. And because a lot of people say, look, Racer X, yes, we agree with you about this dealer markup. It sucks. It's not right. But what can we do about it? And I went ahead and I just said, look, let's make a petition. So I wrote up a petition on change.org. You can actually find it at change.org/say-no-to-unfair-dealer-markup. And you can go on and sign this petition. And I will put a link to this in the description down below. So not only, don't just heart the video, don't just leave a comment. And I want you to do that, but also share this video and share this very important link with everybody. Because as I mentioned, I'm one guy, but if I have a whole bunch of other people that sign this behind me, and I can go to the manufacturers and say, look at how many people feel like this is really, really screwed up, and you guys need to do something about it, then our voices can actually be heard, and maybe we can be an advocate, or you guys can be an advocate with me for change in the right direction so that we can stop all this nonsense. Because the fact is that this dealer markup stuff is getting completely out of hand, especially if you're an enthusiast, as most of you guys that watch my channel are. Half the time, I see so many comments, guys, come through, and look, I can't buy this now because the dealerships are charging crazy markup on stuff. And it's happening across the board. And it literally is just a stupid, ridiculous practice that is doing nothing but pad the pockets of these greedy dealership owners. I'm not trying to be mean about this, guys, but it is the truth, and it kind of gets under my skin a little bit. It should not be allowed. It's simple. It's simple, guys. When you're promised a price by a manufacturer, and then the dealership, we can't go buy through these manufacturers. We have to buy through their dealerships. And these are factory authorized dealerships, guys. And yet the dealership refuses to sell you these cars for what they're supposed to. And they're charging crazy amounts, guys. Like I said, $90,000, $100,000 markups in some cases. It just isn't right. And we've got to put a stop to it. So guys, get behind me on this. Go sign this petition. Share this with everybody you know. Have your grandkids sign it. Have your mom sign it, or whatever else. I need as many of you guys to sign this as humanly possible. Let's band together and let's show them how stupid this practice really is. We've got to do something, guys. Talk is cheap, and it's time for action. I've talked about it enough. I need your help. Get behind me on this one, guys. Let's band together as a community, and let's stop all this crazy, maddening garbage that's being pulled right now. I gotta have you behind me. So guys, remember, share this video, share the link that's down in the description below, and we will make something great happen. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, Racer X.